You're not fooled. Ay, ay, ay. Cats. What can I say? Alright, well, what I've done is I've just restarted this stream because I was doing some really boring stuff, and now I've finished doing it, and so I thought I'd show how to do a blueprint. Oh, very nice. Right, anyway, I'm going to be polite. I'm going to wait a couple of minutes until people have noticed, okay, that I've restarted my stream, because, you know, someone clicked like in Facebook. Wasn't that nice of them? Anyway, let's just disable that. There we go. Now then, as soon as the viewers get back, I hope the viewer comes back, because it was nice having someone viewing. But when they come back, what I'll do is I'm going to show how to do something in a blueprint. So I'll see if anyone as well wants to cancel, save. I'll see if anyone wants to suggest anything as well in Unreal Engine, in Facebook. So are you barking? Shush. Right, oh, I've got a viewer back. Hello, viewer again. My dog's just barking. I don't know why. What are you barking? Oh, you're licking the cat's ear hole. Dogs and cats. What's going on? Okay, so anyway, before I restarted this stream, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the level blueprint, which I already said. And a blueprint, like I say, it gives us all the cool things that we can do with C++ without having to learn C++, which is good because I'm not very good at C++. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a box trigger. Okay, now what I did was I just went up here to my place actors and grabbed the box trigger, which I just typed in. Okay, now I'm just going to drag that out into my scene and put it here. Okay, so I've just dragged it up a bit. Reason being that it needs a little bit of space, okay, because we're going to increase its extents and we'll be able to walk into it. Hey, two other people, how are you doing? Hope you're having a great Sunday. It's lockdown coming in the UK here, but I don't care because I'm a game developer and I never go out anyway. Okay, so let's change our box extent here. We're going to make it 200 by 200 by 200. Okay, reason being that gives us like a 2 meter space around the outside of it. So anything now that walks into this, we can then say, oh, there's something in there, let's make something happen. Because this is what blueprints are, right? With blueprints, it's something's happened, do something, okay? Event, action. That's how a blueprint works. Now, I'm going to open up my blueprint level here. So if I just click on blueprints, and you'll see here, open level blueprint, and that's the level blueprint that's tied only to our level. This is only tied to, you know, in this case, whatever it's called, first person example map. So we can't share its functionality with anything else. We can only do it for the first person example map. Now, because I want this to say, hey, you're walking into the trigger box, let's do something, I need to select the trigger box. So make sure it's selected, okay, and you'll see it's highlighted, or we can select it down here. And then if I come over here, okay, into my event graph where all the stuff happens, I'm going to right click and you'll see here I can create a reference to my trigger box, or I can add events or call functions. Now I want to add an event, so I'm going to click here and I want a collision event, and there we go. You can see here, add on actor begin overlap. Click. Right, so now what this has done is it's given us an event, and it's saying when you begin overlapping with this box, so if I walk into it, then whatever comes out of this little arrow here is going to happen. Okay, now there's a couple of other little things here, like it'll also tell us what the overlapped actor was and what the other actor that overlapped it is, i.e. you and the box. But I'm mostly interested in this, okay, this execute. Now, to make sure it works, first thing I'll do is I'll do a dev command. So I'm going to do a print. Okay, and you'll see here I've got this print string. Will you stop barking or I'm going to throw a pillow at you? Silly puppy. Right, so print string. Right, come on. Out. Don't play in the hallway. And then in this string, I'm going to type the words, it works. No, it doesn't mean run back in and get on the settee, does it? Yeesh. Compile and save. So now, if I click play, and I'll just make sure it's in selected viewport, and walk forward, you can see it works appears in the top left corner. So this is just a development thing, okay? This is just for us developers to let us know. We wouldn't use that for an end client because it's not very attractive. Right, so we know that's working. So what do we want it to do? Well, I would like it to, I know, you see this box here, Editor Cube 12. What I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce the size of Editor Cube 12. And when I do that, because physics is turned on, as you can see here, it means this box on top will fall down as well. So that'll give us a nice little effect. So I'm going to keep it selected, and I'm going to go here to Blueprints, open my level blueprint, and what I want to do is I want to just right click anywhere, and it'll just say here, create a reference to Editor Cube 12. Great. So now I can do things for Editor Cube 12. I can make things happen to it, you know. I can set its rotation, I can set its scale, I can just turn it off and make it invisible. I can do all sorts of things. Now what I'm interested in is the scale. So if I drag this out and type in set scale, it will give me any action that contains the words set and scale. And what I'm interested in is setting my world scale. Okay, there we go. Now, it's created two things here. The first thing it's done is it's created this. Okay, so it's read the value of Editor Cube 12 and worked out what the static mesh is. That's the cube, that's the static mesh. So it's gone and found that for us automatically and put it into the target area. So now all I have to do is just drag here to here, and I can start setting my world scale. Now, what is my scale going to be? Now, I know scales, normally we think of percentages, 0 to 100, okay, but this is actually expecting a value really of 0 to 1. Okay, so 0.01 would be 1%, etc, etc, etc. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the scale on this to 0.2, 0.2, 0.2, and now it will be 1/5 the original size. Okay, very, very easy. So now I can hit compile and save, and close this down, and we have a piece of functional code just there for you. So now if I click play and I just walk forward, there it goes. Okay, so it scaled down the little box, and because it did that, the big box that was resting on top of it that required physics also collapsed. It's really fun because, you know, if we use the physics, what I'm going to do is just change my snap value here to 50. Here we go, and I'll just make a couple of copies of this. Right, now I'll click play. You can see it's wobbling anyway. Oh, there it goes. Great. I do love physics tools in Unreal Engine. Very, very, very easy to use. The client does like it when the developer works. Ah, dearie me. Anyway, welcome back, Ascalia. Right, so that is how we use a very, very simple, but let's face it, quite effective blueprint. Okay, so what else could we do with this? Well, remember our blueprint is localized at the moment, okay, to our world map. What I mean by that is that, you know, this is just a blueprint operating only for this level. If I wanted to make a blueprint instead that was going to do something where, you know, it was going to resize itself, but I could reuse that in a different level, then what I'd have to do is actually create a blueprint for that. Now, what I'm going to do is quickly show you how we do that too. So, if I come over here and I select this cube, okay, this is a good idea. So I'm going to do it over here, and I'm going to use a cube like this. So I'll go into Assets, and then I'll go into BPs. If you don't have those folders, just make them yourself. And I'm going to right click, and I want to create basic asset blueprint class. Okay, so this creates a standalone blueprint class that we can move anywhere and do anything we want with. Now I'm going to create an actor because the cube is an actor. I'm going to call this BP where did the cube go? Okay, so BP, where did the cube go? Nice and explanatory. I don't tend to use names like that usually, but you get the kind of point. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just double click on it, and it doesn't have a cube in yet, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to add component and type in the word cube. There it is. Now, my cube is actually centered directly over my world 00 space because its pivot is in the middle, and I don't want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change its location to 50, and that will move it 50 centimeters up, and because the box is 100 by 100 by 100, then it'll go into the right position. Cool. Okay, compile and save. Now, straight away we already have something that's usable, right? So what I'll do is I'll just click on this cube and click on my one and do a right click here, and I'll replace it. There we go, and now we can see that I have my cube just here. Now I'm going to change my snap size down to 10 just so it's on the floor. There we are. And now I can load it up. So BP, where did my cube go? Now let's click on this, and I'm going to click simulate physics and compile. So now this will also fall to the floor and do stuff. That's cool. So what do I want to do next? Well, I want something to happen. For something to happen though, I'm going to need a collision cube. Okay, so let's make another collision cube. So add component, and I'm going to add in my box, and here it is, box collision. Okay, now we can't see it at the minute because it's inside this, but if I extend its bounds like I did before, so 200 by 200 by 200, okay, anything that goes inside that box is technically going to kick off an event where it's triggered the boundary of this cube. So now I'm going to go over here to my event graph. Now what it's done is it's stuck 3 basic event graph nodes in: begin play, actor overlap, and event tick. So I'm going to get rid of begin play, and I'm going to get rid of tick, and because we've already got this event actor begin overlap, we'll use that, because why the hell not? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just grab this cube, see here, and this is what I want to get smaller, so I can now grab it into my scene, and I'm going to put set scale. Okay, and I'm going to set world scale 3D. I'm going to bring this over to here, and I'm going to set my new scale to 0.1, 0.1, 0.1. Okay, so where did it go? It got very small. So now I can hit compile and save and close that down. Now hit play. And if I walk over to here, ignoring the fact that all those things are still falling over in the background, it got small. It got very small. Okay, and this will interact. We can duplicate this blueprint. So let's make a copy of this blueprint. So I'll just duplicate it to there, and then let me see. I'll make another copy over here, and let's see, another one here. So I'm just making simple copies of this blueprint. And we'll really start making a mess with our scene once I start doing this. But that's kind of the idea, because these will probably fall over anyway. So click play. Oh, they already changed. Now why did they do that? Well, because another blueprint had already interacted with them. Okay, so I'd have to tell it that the blueprint, that the thing I want to overlap it, is me, not them. Okay, so be aware of this. So if I hit play again, you'll see it. They've all, wow, they all stacked up for a second as well. That was pretty cool. I liked that. Okay, so as you see, the blueprint kicked in and their scale went all the way down like that. Okay? Right then, so we've done a little bit of blueprint stuff. Hopefully it was enough to kind of whet your appetite and get you a little bit interested in what's going on. I really hope so, because blueprints in Unreal Engine are a great way of enjoying yourself and having fun with the program. If you've ever done animation of anything that you've made in 3D, if you're a 3D artist, then I get the same kind of feeling now using blueprints as I used to when I used to animate spaceships and robots. Okay, it's a great feeling. You can do some really, really powerful stuff. Simple stuff like opening and shutting doors, physics stuff like we just did there, just about anything, and it's not complicated to do. Okay, you take it very, very easy because it's Sunday. I'm going to go upstairs and have myself a big old sparkly bath with a bath bomb, which is something you don't want stored in your head, trust me. So go and pour bleach into your brain if you want to get rid of that memory. And I will see you on the next time I stream. Until then, It says don't forget to subscribe and like and all that bull. You can if you want, but otherwise it's been a pleasure, and thanks again, Ascania. Been nice seeing you there. Okay, bye bye.